Bea, ba't ka tumawag?
Actually, I called because Puso Pilipinas sent me a detox card. Feel ko ikaw yung pinaka-okay na makakasagot ng question nila. Flattered
Go
ka ba?
ahead. Hindi, kinakabahan ako, but go ahead.
Okay, so
Seryoso,
the
go.
question is, what was the first moment where you realized you needed someone else's help? It's kind of deep, bro.
Wow, shucks. That's really deep. But I'm the type of person kasi na people usually go to me to ask for help. So, I got used to being the stronger person. It was kinda late when I realized that it was okay to ask help. It was in college already, and it was because of volleyball. I had a really difficult time when I was converted to setter, and I was assigned as a team captain in the same year. I didn't take it easily. It was very challenging to me to the point that when I asked help from a professional, sa sports psychologist namin, sabi niya, you might have symptoms of high-functioning depression. And I think I was very in denial at first. It's not bad to admit that at a certain point in my career, I wasn't really mentally okay. Because I think it's always a misconception that as an athlete, you have to be always mentally tough. Ikaw, when you first ask help?
Baba ko na, okay na yung sagot mo.
No!
I was laughing just because it sounds so similar to my experience. Na parang wala, di ba? Parang sanay ka na, strong ka. I mean, like, that's also the mentality that sports teaches you, di ba? And of course, nothing wrong with it at all, di ba? But I guess sometimes the hard part is finding the right balance between okay pa ba ako or ipipilit ko ba? So, same naman. Most of the time kasi in the team setting at least, most people come to me for help. I felt like I had to be stronger. I always felt like I had to know what to do or have an answer to whatever their question was. Nahihirapan ka na lang bigla out of nowhere, diba? So, it's parang bigla ka magtataka na parang, teka, ba't parang bigla ang hirap? Medyo na-realize ko siya most on my 5th year. There was just a lot of pressure I put on myself, plus the pressure outside, plus the hype, plus, you know, everything was kind of getting to me without me knowing it. Sometimes it's like that, diba? Parang you don't realize na it's there na pala, but it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, exact same. I asked for help before my 5th year. I was also high-functioning depressed, but more severe anxiety.
How do you find out that you're actually not okay? Because in my case, it was more like I wasn't eating properly anymore. I had very high anxiety towards training. Like, when I wake up in the morning, sobrang kinakabahan na ako mag-training. There's like a big rock on my chest na parang hindi na ako makabangon.
Nahihirapan din ako. Parang bago mag-training, you know, your stomach kind of turns. Parang, you know, you're trying to talk to yourself and trying to psych yourself up. But you never really have answers to it anymore. I knew I needed help when I would have all of these problems of not knowing what to do, how to psych myself up, how to motivate yourself, or at least just be confident in yourself in the game and be strong and not want to give up. You have no idea what to even ask, or you want to work on it, but you have no idea how. Like, what's the first step even, diba, to getting that back? As you said, I think you'd probably be the same kasi nga, pa-strong tayo.
Oh, yeah.
So parang you'd always just think na parang, di, kaya yan.
Yeah.
Until paiksi na ng paiksi yung patience mo dun sa, or yung belief mo dun sa, kaya yan.
Yeah.
So wala na.
It's much harder because people around you doesn't really know what you're going through.
And you don't really want to tell them.
Yeah, ako din eh. That's why it was difficult for me. At some point, I wanted to tell my teammates. I was a team captain. I felt like I had to be strong for everyone.
Same naman. You feel that you're supposed to be the foundation.
Yeah, and especially that before, it wasn't really easily talked about, mental health in general. But me, I think I was lucky because my friends outside volleyball knew about it. So at least I had that support system who actually got me throughout that dark moment in my life. And the thing is, it was episodic naman eh. That's what my sports psychologist told me. It was triggered by the situation.
It's just hard to balance because as an athlete, you chase for perfection eh.
Yeah,
diba? So
of
parang
course.
ikaw, magagalit ka lang sa sarili mo. You don't want to make excuses. You want to be able to push yourself and be like, but I'm supposed to be able to do it. Doon ako lagi nahihirapan balansin
agree,
yung
actually.
line between, it's really actually okay to say, no, push yourself pa.
Even more so this pandemic. Okay, do I give myself this day to rest, or am I really just making an excuse?
And you're even with one decision, your
Yeah.
head's already like battling it out, and you're like, wait, it's supposed to be a simple decision. It's just work out or not.
Exactly.
This is the challenge of being an athlete. You have to have the discipline, diba? So you're just like, no, okay, fine.
But I feel like what pushed me really was my purpose. I feel like I'm lucky because my life right now is kind of really aligned to what I want to do long term, which is really to be a sports psychologist. Like, I'm still doing sports, I'm doing my master's. So, I feel like having a purpose, like being clear with your purpose really helps. And, you know, in day-to-day basis, when you wake up and you feel so demotivated, you kind of remind yourself, okay, like, this is a small step towards, you know, my bigger purpose in life.
Not to
like,
say
just to be
na-
fast-paced talaga.
It's kind of sad na parang now, diba? Ngayon mo lang ma-appreciate yung fact na how environments really matter. Asar kasi nila sa akin na sobrang nerdy ko daw kasi I like going to school. Relate,
Yeah.
diba? Na
I
parang,
can relate.
diba yung pupunta ka sa school,
Yeah.
tapos feel mo yung pagka-estudyante mo. And seeing the campus, I mean, like, I'm
Yeah.
super blessed na Ateneo was very nice.
Yeah.
Ganda,
And
puro
very
puno.
conducive to studying. Before, like, I would admit, I was a social butterfly. Kahit sino-sino na lang mga kinakausap mo dyan. Kahit yung mga nakakasabay mo lang sa jeep, or like, yung katabi ko lang pag kumakain ako.
True.
I feel like I kind of transitioned to becoming more introvert this pandemic. My friends would ask me, but medyo MIA ka lately. It's just that I don't have the energy to talk. And that's
Yeah.
one thing I learned also this pandemic, is that it's okay to set boundaries. Like, if I don't really have the energy to talk, if I don't have the energy to reply, okay, I'll reply later, and okay, I'll explain why.
Oh,
But
dude,
but only when I have
reply
the
time
energy.
is within 2 weeks.
Grabe, akala ko sobra na ako, 4 days, 5
No,
days.
kasi sa'yo, social butterfly ka, turned introvert. Ako, introvert, turned to extra introvert.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my
So-
gosh, okay.
So, dude, my teammates even have a tag below the text, please reply. No
And do
jokes,
you
Madi.
reply?
I was already not a good replier, and then it got worse. So I think we've established that what needs help is also this pandemic.
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
No, but what's hard kasi, diba, parang at the start of the pandemic, you were first really like, oh, let's learn something new, diba? Growth mindset ka pa eh.
Yeah.
Let's take this time. You know, it's actually nice to have this time by yourself, but you're alone and trying to
And
learn
to
new
do things you used to want to do.
Find new hobbies, diba?
Yeah.
Eh, naubos na lang sa listahan.
That's so true.
Parang you don't want to complain because you know you're so blessed. I didn't want to ask for help at all because you were really like, sige, you know, there's so much more people who need help. Focus on that.
I had a really long conversation about that with my friend. Let's admit, like, we're privileged, like what you said. We have a home, we're comfortable. And it was hard to see that a lot of people in the country were really having a tough time. Partly the reason why I wasn't really mentally okay when the pandemic started, because, you know, I felt too privileged. But at the end of the day, I guess it's not our fault, and we can just always, you know, find ways to help people. Like,
I think there's a saying in Ateneo, in as much as, you know, it's not wrong to be privileged,
yeah.
but for as long as you use this privilege to be of help to others.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that's a good point naman to say, because you also don't want to blame yourself. It's tough,
never.
diba?
Yeah, and it's not our fault that, you know, we're in the situation. Like, we can just always use it to do good.
I
for
think you
other
can just
people.
always really use it to help out, diba? Pero, I mean, like, ikaw ba, may difference ba yung naging mentality mo from UAAP, tas transition tayo to pro? Sabay lang tayo halos eh, diba?
Di ba batchmates ata tayo eh? 14 ka ba?
Yes, yeah.
I guess I felt like I was more self-aware. So I was better in managing my emotions and handling certain situations in the team. But mentality in general, I guess not much has changed. You?
Yeah. Same naman the eagerness come this first PVL Pro League. And during the pandemic, me pa, coming from an injury, parang nahirapan talaga ako to build the confidence that I needed. Especially when it came to the latter part of the PVL, when the games were tuloy.
Agree. Tapos yung
Kasi,
training
diba,
45 minutes lang. Sometimes like I would wonder na what if I stayed in one position?
I'm sure.
Maybe I could be a better setter, a better libero. But it took time for me to accept that probably this is really something that's gonna be my role in my career. Pag tinatanong na nga ako, like, I just tell the coaches, wherever you need me, wherever you feel like I can contribute.
ganun.
Kaya rin like this, when Signal took me in and I started training with them, syempre the self-doubt was there. I wasn't very much confident. And, there was the challenge pa of a really short preparation. But at the end of the day, as athletes, when we're put inside the court, we just do our best. The people outside, especially the fans, these are things they don't really see. The struggles of the athlete, the mental challenges we go through every day. I feel
True.
like it's good that there are conversations about it more now, so that people outside sports,
That's true.
or like the fans, would be able to understand more.
And
Diba?
I think
'Cause-
it's important in the bigger scale of things just to be able to relate to one another, especially in this day and age where there's social media but people feel less connected. Diba? It's so ironic. So I think these conversations are very important to find someone to relate to and know that you're not alone in whatever you're doing. I wanna see an interview of let's say Steph Curry or Tiger Woods or Kobe Bryant just going like, I was tired today. Parang you kind of want to look
Was
for it
there
also,
ever?
diba? Because parang, you know what? I don't even know. Oh, these people I looked up to, like my dad and my mom. Oh, hindi din pala sila perfect. Which isn't bad at all, diba? You just feel like, hey, I'm not doing so bad. So, parang I always appreciate conversations that way na at least na parang hindi pala ako malala or hindi pala ako masamang tao. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are beating themselves up because they're not in a certain
especially
level.
right now. And it's good to have these conversations because, at the end of the day, you get to realize that, okay, it will always be in my own pace. But there are also other people going through the same thing. But they will all also do it on their own pace. And
Yeah.
it's
And we go back to that cheesy line, no, na parang you really have to celebrate your small wins.
small wins.
Because you do. And I mean, I think it gets hard for us also. Because yun nga, as athletes, you wanna achieve for this all the time eh. So parang kahit gumaganon ka, andito lagi yung mata mo. And once you see it's attainable, you start going like, sige, pwede ko pantasan.
And I think that's what's been highlighted even more this pandemic in terms of everything, like just living our life day by day, I guess. Like sometimes we look too far that we're not able to appreciate the small things in our day-to-day life.
But for me naman, if anything for this pandemic, if, we're trying to look at the good things it's given, parang when you talk to somebody nga, it's so much easier to relate because the whole world went through a very similar experience. So, I hope in the future, people are a lot kinder in that sense na we're all struggling in life, It's I hope that's something that comes out of this pandemic because it needs something good to come out of it, diba?
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's always good to have and hear a different perspective of things. Like, I felt like I learned a lot from you today.
Yeah, it's different, no? When you look at each other from across the court, and we've never been teammates, so we don't really.
And we've actually
talk
never
as
been
much.
like really introduced personally to each other.
It's nice to know na parang we're in different teams now, so across the net, there's somebody who can relate to you there and verbally stated na, diba?
Exactly,
There's
almost
someone
the
there.
same experience talaga.
Yeah,
That surprised me,
oo
actually.
nga eh. It was really, really nice talking to you. I really learned a lot and more importantly, na-comfort ako sa mga nafe-feel ko. Out of the blue, diba? Nice talking to you. So, I hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you, babe.
Hindi lang trash talkan sa court. Joke, we don't trash talk.
Yeah, we don't. Thank you.
Bye!
Bye.